Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jason Tucker, and this is WP Watercooler's WP Blab, episode number 151.
Yeah!
Marketing your services in an economic decline. Man, that is not a way to start a show, but hey.
Hey, it's a palindrome, so all things are off. A palindrome in a pandemic.
Yep. WP Blab is made possible this week by our sponsors, ServerPress, Kinsta, and Fat Dog Creatives. ServerPress Maker's Desktop Server, they make local WordPress development easy. Go check them out over at serverpress.com. If you're somebody who has multiple websites, have a website where you want to transfer stuff from one to the other, or you're building locally, you can use Desktop Server's great new software called WP Site Sync to transfer those files over and get everything kind of all set up between your local development as well as your production. So check them out over at serverpress.com. I do want to let you know that WP Blab is it's not only just made available by our sponsors, but it's also kind of supported by you folks. And the way that I feel that you support us is by subscribing to our content. You can go to our website over at WPwatercooler.com/subscribe, where you can learn how to subscribe to this show as well as all the other shows that we do over on the network. Bridget, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hey, I'm Bridget Willard, and I'm a social media manager and copywriter for WordPress products and agencies, and you can find out more at bridgetwillard.com.
Always good to have you, Bridget.
Thanks.
Always good to have you here. I'm Jason Tucker. You can find me over at Jason Tucker on Twitter. I do this show as another show as well called WP Watercooler. Feel free to go take a look at that. I'm an IT person who works at a church, and I am not working currently, but man, are we cranking out content over at the church, and we've been doing some really cool stuff over there. And I've been super excited to kind of take this video stuff and kind of get it added into the mix over there. So we've been using a lot of tools and techniques that we've been using on this show here, as well as on WP Watercooler over there. So I'm super excited about that. And I'd love to hear more about that. I've had some folks on Twitter actually ask me how they can get either their churches or their events or any of that stuff online. I'd be more than happy to help you out in any of that stuff. Just like everyone else, we're just, we're all in this together. We want to make sure that we're able to kind of make things happen. Speaking of all of this together, Pam, it's good to have you. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. All right, all things considered.
Yeah, I hear that. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm, excuse me, I swear I'm not dying of anything. I forgot to take my allergy pill this morning. That's all this is. So
no problem.
I am Pam Aungst of Pam Marketing and Stealth Search and Analytics, and I also have a plugin called Crosscheck SEO. Pam Marketing and Stealth both do SEO, PPC, and analytics services, and Pam Marketing does them direct with clients, and Stealth does them on a white label basis through other agencies.
Awesome.
Very cool. That's awesome. I mean, I remember meeting you, Pam. I don't know how many years back it was, but we were at WordCamp Miami, and we were.
A long time ago.
Yeah, a whole bunch of us were hanging out. Some like pre-after party event, just kind of chilling, hanging out at one of those like outdoor hangout spots, and it was a restaurant or something. It was cool. It was good to meet you and finally put a face to a name and all that sort of thing. So
yeah, definitely. That was my first big one where I met a lot of people IRL that I had seen on Twitter and whatnot, and yeah, kept in touch.
That was a
pretty much all of them.
WordCamp.
Yeah.
Huge WordCamp.
Yep.
So
Bridget, you've been, right?
Not to Miami, but fun fact. If WordPress were a MLM, I would be in Pam's downline. Because the only reason why I went to WordCamp was because she told us to. We were a bunch of friends in the construction industry in 2009, trying to deal with that economic recession. And we were called the Twitter Pink Ladies. We were going to get jackets. It was really cool. That was when like nobody in manufacturing construction was using it. And she goes, "Oh, there's WordCamp Orange County. You should go." And we were like, "What is it?" She goes, "Who cares? It's $40." That was 7 years ago. In 2013, I went to my first WordCamp, and everything that I've done from WordPress is all because of Pam.
Oh no!
So it's full circle. What do you mean? I wouldn't have done any of it.
You might have eventually, but all right, fine. I'll take the credit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's like if there's going to be a downline, there's a down. So it's super exciting that you're on our show for me personally. And
I'm super excited too. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. It's just, been busy, but all of a sudden I have more time than ever before.
We also used to make it really difficult for the East Coast people. So
it was late at night. It was rough for them. Yep.
Yeah, this is not bad at all.
It used to be really hard for the people in Europe because they had to get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah, no. You never
How bad do you want to be on our show? So
I'm actually still up sometimes.
That's true. If it's 4 a.m., I might as well just not go to bed. So we all remember that housing crisis, and it hit construction and manufacturing so hard. So like we're not new. None of us here are new to the recession. And of course, if you're working in a church, that means ties are down. Ties are down means staff is down. Blah, 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 blah. The people that don't believe in trickle down economics sure feel it when we have a recession. But that's all things aside.
That's a whole nother episode when that recession hits. So we may swing back around and talk about that.
Well, but right now we're in like a mini, like what in the world is happening? And as Jason said last week, for those of you who are watching 4 years from now, California is under quarantine. Pretty much the whole world is because of COVID-19. So Pam, like I saw you tweeting the other day or posting, I don't know, I'm following you on all the things, as they say, about, I think it was Facebook, like what the actual F. And like when this happens, marketing's always the first thing to get cut.
Yes.
And literally, I lost a client today, but I knew it was going to happen. So how do we, because WordPress is marketing, there's only one reason to have a website.
Well, yeah, that's true. No matter how technical you think you are in the back end, like you're doing it so that someone somewhere can market themselves.
Right. So what are you thinking right now? What have you learned from words, Bridget? See these new teeth. I have to learn how to enunciate. How are you dealing with it right now? What is your strategy currently? I mean, in the last 72 hours, what's your strategy?
Yeah, well, so like you said, we've both been through a recession before. Like I didn't own my own business then, but I was actually the company that I was at right before I met you. I was running a whole division for them. So it was kind of essentially running a business. And there were tips and tricks and strategies that I used there that I plan to use for my own business now. But this all happened so fast. This was like instant coffee, like instant recession. So I haven't even had the time to put all those things into place. And I'll talk about what they are. But what I have done thus far is it's kind of just twofold. One is just a loose strategy of just be as empathetic as possible. I've gotten a few cancellations so far, and I responded with, and like technically they're under contract. They're supposed to give me 30 days notice, whatever. I did not enforce any of that, especially because they're all asking to pause. They're like, we love you, but we just can't do this right now. We promise we'll be back. So I'm not going to enforce any contractual anything. I'm just like responding very empathetically. Like, I feel you. I totally get it. Like, if there's anything I can do to help you in the meantime, let me know. Otherwise, I really look forward to having you back and wish you the best. And the responses that I've gotten are just so like heartwarming. Like I'm gonna get a little emotional. But I think that's important. Like I really truly appreciate my clients. A lot of them have been with me for a long time, and they're my livelihood. So like I need to treat them accordingly. So it's easy to get upset. And yeah, I did get upset at first. I was like, oh, come on. Like you can't like marketing's always the first thing to go. And I want to try to convince them like, no, you should keep marketing. But I just think right now it's more important than ever to just be empathetic. This is different. It's the same, but different. It's just a little quicker and a little more extreme. And there's a lot of fear around the actual health situation itself. I just think it's super important, first and foremost, to be empathetic. So that's the first thing. It's just kind of like a guiding principle. The second thing is, and this has been really scary for me, and I've only done it with one client so far, but I'm going to force myself to keep doing it. I'm trying to get ahead of it. I sent a client a note yesterday saying, hey, I hadn't heard from them, and it's unusual as I usually hear from them pretty frequently. So I'm thinking about you guys. I imagine this is not easy. I hope it's not affecting you. too much. I hope you're all safe and healthy. But if it is affecting you, please let me know and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about ways to bring your retainer down to the bare bones of what's necessary, because I don't want to see you guys lose all the traction that you've made. That would be a shame. So I'm willing to talk about how can we change this temporarily to keep you going and keep the most essential pieces of what we're doing for you going so that you don't fall too far behind. But, I understand that you can't do everything now. And so it's really scary for me because I'm like, I feel like I'm going to plant the seed in their mind to reduce a retainer when maybe they wouldn't have otherwise asked for it.
But doesn't that go with the empathy?
Was like, oh my God, like we're drowning. All of our clients are canceling. Like, thank you so much. We'll be in touch. We want to have that conversation. So maybe they would have canceled completely. And now we're going to have an opportunity to talk about a reduced retainer for a temporary period of time.
I feel like that goes with the empathy.
Yeah.
And like I had this conversation with my client when she lost her speaking gig. And that was a moneymaker for her. It wasn't WordCamp.
Right.
Like she was literally going to get money from the attendance. And so we had the conversation ahead of time. She was, as a client, was more like, here's my situation. If this doesn't happen, I can't continue. So, then I was like, she asked me if she could do half. And I'm like, no, just you could do this yourself. You're ready. I believe in you. Like, I'm here. I'm your friend. I'll figure it out. Like, because the thing is, a lot of us really are businesses, right? So
yeah,
I love that
I
empathy.
Expenses myself. I get it. Yeah. We all have to do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you touched upon something else. You said that you can do this yourself. So in my mind, from what I've learned in the past, recession equals DIY. People are going to want to do things themselves. So instead of resisting that, think about how you can, I don't want to use the word capitalize on it, but help them in a way that you still, it's mutually beneficial. You maybe aren't making as much money off of them as you were before. Maybe they're only paying you for a couple hours of consulting a month, but at least you still maintain the relationship. You're getting something out of it. They're getting something out of it. It's mutually beneficial. You're helping each other. The way I applied that in the last recession was I was running an online store, an e-commerce store, where we were selling a certain type of equipment that was really geared towards an industrial market, construction, manufacturing. Then all construction just stopped.
Yeah.
And so what happened was we had a few customers that would buy these things that weren't in an industrial construction situation. They were actually vacation homeowners.
Oh.
They owned a second home. And so what these things did is they monitored temperature remotely and stuff. And we were mostly gearing that towards an industrial audience for things like wastewater pumping stations and electrical control panels and stuff. But we had a few of these people that said they were buying them for their vacation home, just in case, their furnace went out and their pipes were going to freeze, whatever.
Oh,
and
that's smart.
Light bulb goes off and I start to talk to these people and say, because normally they would be paying a property management company or something to tend to their property, but recession equals DIY. So they wanted some device to keep an eye on their vacation home for them. And this was in mid 2000s. This is all the Wi-Fi enabled thermostats and stuff weren't a thing then. So we had these things that would call a phone number when the temperature would drop. And so I'm talking to them and I'm like, what else do you need for keeping an eye on your house? And they were all security systems. We need some kind of security system that we can install ourselves, not have to pay someone to install, and not have to pay a monthly fee for. We just want something that will call us directly, not an alarm company, will call us directly if some commotion happens in the house or whatever. So I was like, okay, great. We're going to start selling security systems. We knew nothing about security. Nada. But we quickly learned, I could tell you how to set up a home security system. I became the tech support person and salesperson and product manager and everything for home security systems, but DIY home security systems. So we actually took regular ones that normally you would need a professional installer to install, found the one that we found the easiest, and then wrote up custom instructions to go with it for, step by step. Here's how someone who's never done this before can do this. And you can call us for help. We absolutely thrived. It just kept growing. We just rode the DIY. I even rebranded the whole thing to be called DIY Controls. Like it was called something else entirely before. Like we even rebranded to ride the DIY.
Yeah.
We grew like 30% year over year through the recession. It saved the rest of the company. Not saying that to like toot my own horn or anything, but it's kind of something I'm proud of because those people were going to lose their jobs because they were all construction related. So we just had them all start chipping in on the e-commerce side, which turned into something totally different than they knew at all. But they were willing to pack boxes and slap on UPS labels and like whatever they could do to help, and they kept their jobs. So
that's cool. That's
gotta,
cool.
how
do you convert someone who has become a DIY marketer or a DIY marketer? How do you convert somebody like that back into a customer again? And this is the question I have before you answer that, is like, how do you, when you have someone who knows nothing about marketing and they come to you and they hire you, they're hiring you for your expertise. When they come to you after they've tried to be their own DIY marketer, are they hiring you for your expertise, or are they hiring you for all the things that they can't do themselves?
Okay, so this actually kind of piggybacks off of what I was just saying about, we went into the home security system business. It had nothing to do with what we were doing before, but our customers needed it, so we went into it. So another thing I want to encourage people to think about is, what other skills do you have or could you develop? What do you feel confident you could self-teach yourself to help your clients with the things that they still need help with or can't do? So basically for me, what that looks like, and I'm going to start doing, I kind of already started doing it, is for years now, I've focused my business only on SEO, PPC, and analytics. So basically just driving traffic to websites, not building websites, not fixing websites, I literally we don't touch the website. We just give consulting and guidance. We audit it with tools and we go in and we check in things, but we don't change anything. But what my clients are needing right now, they're like, or they're just too busy right now. Like, because normally they're the type that would want to learn how to do it themselves, but they're just, they're working on their own emergency contingency plans. They're like, can you just go in and do this for me? And I do know how to do it. Like, I run my own websites for my own company. And for the longest time, I was like, nope, I'm keeping my services laser focused on what I specialize in and blah, blah, blah. Because, I believe in the whole niching thing as a marketing strategy. But right now, I just feel like I have to throw out everything that I normally do or normally don't do because, well, things aren't normal right now. So I've started doing website edits for clients. I'm going to be adding some new banner ads to a client site today that they needed swapped out. I'm going to be fixing things for people. I have been fixing things for people. So, I think it's a matter of, if somebody's trying to do something themselves and they can't, or they can't afford to pay you to teach them how to do it yourselves, just get creative. How else can I help them? What can I do for them that maybe I really couldn't imagine ever offering as a service, but they need it now? Like, just run with it. Run with what they need.
Yeah. My mom texted me last night and said, you used to teach algebra to your homeschooling friends. You should start doing that again.
Yes. Exactly. So the other thing I wanted to say was my favorite
15 years ago.
Right. But one of my favorite thought experiments is the gun to your head test. And it's basically like, if someone was like, literally put a gun to your head and was like, change your career right now, what are you going to do? Like, what would your knee-jerk reaction be? For me, it would be teaching. Maybe for you, because I know how to teach, and I know that I can just switch to that. So if someone came at me change your career right now, what are you going to do? I'm like, okay, fine, I'll be a teacher. What would your answer be? And it's an interesting thought experiment too.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to necessarily change your career as a result of thinking about that, but what elements can you introduce? So that's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to start making more online courses and classes of my own, hosting more educational events. I will also look into, as a plan B, just in case things get really bad, I'm going to put my resume out to some colleges and see if I can do some adjunct professoring remotely. But I'm just going to take little pieces of that too and incorporate it in my business as I can.
Right. Yeah. Because I was thinking that even after the fact of we're all out of this, everything's back to, whatever normal is. And then we start going through, kind of getting our websites back together, getting our stuff back together. We're starting to, get some more of our clients back. do you feel that if you went and started doing these things that you were just talking about, that maybe wasn't the niche that you were normally going for, but rather you've kind of broadened out a little bit? Do you feel that you'd continue to do some of those things after the fact? And if so, does that mean that you personally need to be doing those, or do you need to go and find some, either people that work in the same type of vertical that you're in and have them kind of be brought in, and you can partner up with them and say, I really don't like editing websites, but I'd be more than happy to have you do this stuff, or have you do this stuff. I think there's some opportunities for that. And I think even now, if you have customers that are asking you for stuff that you're not capable of doing yourself, it might be a good idea to partner up with someone else. Like, for instance, me, you don't want to hire me to write anything. And I would send them to Bridget. I'd be like, hey, Bridget, write some stuff for them. SEO stuff, go to Pam. Like, you have those sorts of things. So I don't know. I think in this point, you don't need to always be something for everybody. Sometimes it's okay to not be, I just can't do this, and I'm not going to be very beneficial for you. So definitely think about that when you're doing this stuff. I know you want to make money, but you don't want to make bad money.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying try to be everything to everyone, but if there's something you feel confident you can serve them well in.
Right.
For your current clients, you mean?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, and then maybe that might expand if I start, saying, well, I'm saying it publicly right now that I fix WordPress sites that are broken, then maybe I'll start getting more of that because other people need that other than my existing clients. So I'm starting with my existing clients because I truly believe in that bit of business wisdom that, it's so much easier to get or keep business from your existing clients than to acquire a new one. So I'm starting my focus there, but maybe it will expand. And maybe I think one of the most important things is to keep an open mind. I have no idea if I'll keep doing that after this goes back to normal or not. But I have an open mind to, if I can find a way to turn it into a service that I enjoy having as a service, and that is unique enough, it has a unique enough spin on it, like the security system thing. Security systems in and of themselves, that's not unique. But what we were doing was unique. It's because I do truly believe under normal circumstances in the niching strategy. But so maybe I will find a way to niche myself into doing only a certain type of, WordPress fixing or whatever it may be. I'm just going to roll with it. And that's how I made it through the last one. So that's what I'm determined to do this time. Keep an open mind. I have like loose plans, but I don't have an exact plan. And I refuse to have an exact plan because I think it's like a wave. Like we're going to have to see how and where it goes and ride it and adjust as we go.
Yeah. So what else did you see? And I know you took some notes here, and I'd love to have you kind of dig into some of those. But what else did you see back when you were kind of writing through this in previous experience here? Is there something else that people should be looking for within their arsenal of stuff? Of here's things that I can actually do for my clients, and what do you got for that?
Well, I kind of touched upon most of that already. The being willing to adapt, looking for opportunities. What else can you do that maybe you never considered, like security systems? Never considered. But listen, ask your clients. Ask the question. That's the most important part. Ask them. Stop trying to figure out what they need or imagine what they need or guess what they need. Ask them what they need. And maybe it will be something you can help with, maybe not. But if nothing else, it'll get the wheels turning. And maybe you think of something very similar that you can or whatever. Yeah. So, just getting creative is really the running theme throughout it. Another thing that I'm going to do now, it didn't really apply in that situation from the last one that I was talking about, but that I'm planning on doing now, and it's going to be hard, is just loosen up. I've been at this it'll be 9 years next year. And a lot of my success has come from learning to, to really kind of force clients to value my time, to charge an appropriate hourly rate, which some people are like, oh God, that's high. It was like, I'm bringing you 15 years of experience. You're paying for those 15 years that I'm going to do something in an hour that would take someone else 15 hours. So it's a high hourly rate, but I learned to do that. And I do not usually, under normal circumstances, do not negotiate my rate at all, or contract terms or anything like that. I've learned to be very strict about it, and I think it's really contributed to my success thus far under normal conditions. But now I just, same open mind type of thing, ride the wave. I'm going to have to let it go. It feels weird, but I will negotiate. I will offer, instead of a 12-month contract, a 6 or a 3-month or a month-to-month. Like, I'm going to have to loosen up if I want to survive. So that's another thing that I would suggest thinking about is, letting go of some of that traditional business wisdom, no matter how much it works in normal circumstances, and you should return to it under normal circumstances. These are not normal circumstances. So how can you loosen up?
Well, what I've done is I keep my hourly, because I don't call it hourly. I'm like, this is what you get, and for an hour meeting with me or any portion thereof, it's $175. And even if the advice is given in the last 5 minutes of the call, that's from me doing web copy for 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And so like I have my little weird deals that I do with people. Like I love to discount for agencies, because then I don't have to deal with the client. And then like I literally had a problem where the guy was like, oh man, this is really high, sticker shock. I'm like, oh, it took me 5 hours. Do you want me to charge you 5 hours times $175 an hour instead? Oh, no. I like $50 a URL. I go, yeah, because on my website it's $65 a URL. He said, no, I like your rates.
Yeah.
So like for me, I'm doubling down on my price anchoring. But when one of my friends wrote me and said, I really needed an hour of your time, I said, for you, it's 50% off. So what I'm doing is I'm discounting. I'm not changing my value, because it took me so long to get there. And
right. Yeah.
You were part of
the regular rate and then offering discount.
But so that's what I'm doing is like, I'm like, okay, for you, this one time, I will do it for this price.
And I think that's another way of being empathetic, right? So I went to cancel out, I'm cutting expenses too. I went to cancel one of my software subscriptions the other day that I don't use much anymore. It's more like a would be nice thing. I'm like, I kind of want to keep this, but I really don't need to keep this. So I sent the support team a message I wanted to cancel, and they wrote me back. They were like, we totally understand these are trying times, and if you want to cancel completely, we will, but we're also willing to offer you a 2-month, I forget what they called it, but it was kind of like, pause period, or I forget what they called it, but a relief period or something, where basically you can still use the software and all its capabilities of your regular subscription for free for 2 months, and we'll resume your billing in 2 months. And I thought that was, a way of discounting. And it's not something like I said, I don't normally discount, but now I'm thinking like, how can I do that for my clients? Because it's not a discount per se. It's all in the way you present it.
Yeah.
If you present it as like, I'm offering my clients this relief package, or this, economic ease option, whatever, it's all about the marketing, the way you spend it. But you are being truly empathetic by doing that.
My local spa did that, because I don't use Massage Envy or something, and I'm not against franchises, but I pay $75 a month for the subscription. But then because of the hysterectomy and everything, I got out of my habit. And so I emailed Joanne. I was like, how many do I have racked up? And she's like 4. I'm like, can we put that on pause? So she's going to pause me for 3 months, and then I'm going to catch up.
Right.
So like, that's part of what I like about working with an actual business person. Mm-hmm. And don't you kind of agree, Pam, that having that interaction with the actual, like I'm talking to the business owner, you're talking to the business owners, doesn't that level of empathy also kind of make you reinforce loyalty? Don't you feel like that's
absolutely? Yeah, people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. As much as everything's going digital now, like, we're still humans, and we still have emotions, and people are still doing business with people they know, like, and trust. That's one of the first bits of business wisdom I got when I started, and it absolutely applies. That's why we do as much networking as we do. And although we feel like we can't do it right now, we actually can. I have had more video chats with people in my networking circles where I've reconnected with people I haven't seen forever and met so many new people in the last few days. I accomplished more networking in the last few days sitting right here in front of this webcam than I have in months and months and months of traveling to conferences and stuff. Now, yes, the true interaction, human being with them, has a certain something that this doesn't, but a lot of people are reverting to just nothing. They're like, oh, we won't see you at the conference. Sorry, I guess we'll see you next year. I'm like, why don't we get on a video chat? Like, you can see each other this way, you know? So yeah, that real human connection is just, it's priceless. And yeah, it's great if it's in person, but it has to keep going now one way or another. Pick up the phone, call your clients. I mean, like I had emailed the one because I couldn't hear back from them, but like, if you can get a hold of them by phone, like talk to them on the phone, or even invite them to a video coffee or whatever, just to talk, just, you know,
Yeah.
People need to vent right now too. Like, just offer to get on a call with your client, just like talk, you know, let them talk about what's going on. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling now, but the real human connection is absolutely priceless in business and in life.
Yeah, definitely. And I do want to let you know about something. I want to tell you a bit about Kinsta. If you're tired of unreliable or slow hosting, check out Kinsta.com, who makes managed WordPress hosting easy and to the next level. Powered by Google Cloud, all their plans include PHP 7.4, SSH access for developers, one-click staging area, 20 global data centers, free SSL, free CDN, and like we were just talking about, 24-hour expert support, people that you can talk to and that are going to help you out with your website stuff. If you need help with migration, they also do that free of charge. Go visit them over at Kinsta.com and take their tour of the new dashboard at demo.kinsta.com. Kinsta, thank you very much for helping us out. We appreciate it.
No, but that's a good point, Pam, is reinforcing relationships with the current customers. That's a great marketing strategy anyway, but now we have extra time.
Well, I've seen people actually have started, and I've seen them on Twitter now, where people are actually opening up like video chats on various. It's almost like real life Slack. It's like, here's some channels that you can talk about. Do you want to talk about this? Do you want to talk about this?
Yep.
Do you want to talk about this? And if one of them for marketing or web-based marketing isn't happening, I think one of you two need to like spin one of those up and make it happen, because like having those types of things is going to make it so that that group of that part of the community of marketers are really going to be able to look and say, like, what can I do for my local area? What can I do for my my very specific niche that I'm working through, or what can I do for this whole vertical, and how can I actually make sure that my clients are going to be able to be serviced correctly and taken care of, especially when most of them may have brick and mortars and have no idea how this stuff works. I mean, I'm starting to see all sorts of places doing delivery now, and delivery means that there's business that's still happening. And if that business is still happening, people need to market the fact that that business is still happening. They also need to market the fact that they're being closed.
Right.
We're closed right now. I'm sorry. Here's our competitors you can go take a look at, or whatever, or whatever you can do for that sort of thing. So yeah, I think right now is a good time to look at this stuff and look at it from a different lens, because folks can't drive out to wherever it is that they need to go to, or they need to know that they can now buy from your website because you cobbled together something real quick on Shopify, or you put together a WooCommerce site or something like that. But yeah,
I've seen a lot of clever things on Instagram. Actually, there's this bartender I follow. I've never been to his bar, but he's clever. So anyway, he has this thing where you can, if you send him $20 on his Venmo, with your email, he will email you 5 cocktail recipes and the recipe for his famous strawberry simple syrup.
Oh, that's cool.
I'll give that kid $20. And I mean, I'm probably never ever going to make it because, like, first of all, you can't have people over.
Get social by yourself.
But you can host a virtual happy hour where you make it for yourself and you're, inviting other people to come spend time with you. I did a couple of those. I hosted one 2 nights ago, and because I have like a private Facebook group, which, by the way, if anyone wants to join, just tweet me at Pam Aungst Marketing. It's mostly geared towards SEO, PPC, and analytics and helping people with that, but also we're just social with each other. So I hosted a online happy hour, and we did like a blend of actually helping each other with marketing challenges and then just shooting the breeze and talking, and everybody had a cocktail in front of them. So it's just all about getting creative. I think it's really
Right.
awesome actually what's happening with people doing so much of that kind of thing virtually. The one I did last night was just more of like a personal thing, just like, you know, are you lonely? Just grab a drink and come hang out with us. I met 3 new people that I absolutely loved. I think we're going to be friends for a long time. It was awesome. So I'm actually kind of, you know, silver lining, encouraged by what's happening here. Now, that being said, pro tip, a lot of meetups, WordPress meetups specifically, are going virtual, as is mine. The Morris County WordPress meetup, Montclair is also Montclair, New Jersey meetup going virtual. Philly is as well. I attended theirs last night, and a very unfortunate thing happened that I guess is happening to a lot of public online meetups now on Zoom. A random user signed in and took over the screen share and showed some, I don't even want to begin to describe what they screen shared, but they interrupted the presenter's presentation, and it was not only mortifying for the presenter and the organizers, but just absolutely disturbing what they were showing. So lesson learned in advance, thankfully for our meetup, if you're using Zoom or anything like it, turn off the option where anyone is allowed to screen share. And the other thing is either don't share your link publicly, or if you share your link publicly, make it password protected, like they have to enter a password to actually get in, and send that privately to the people that have RSVP to your event that you know are real people, not just
super smart.
Yeah. So
wow, I didn't even realize that was happening. Because I know other services, it has to, like, you know, you have to click a thing saying, yeah, let them, you know, screen share or whatever. Wow.
Yeah, it's been happening. I found an article after that. I didn't know it was a thing, but it's apparently been happening to
opportunities for everyone, even spammers and hackers.
Yes. Just straight up trolls. I think people are just, I mean, there was no business angle of this. This was not spam. This was just straight up trolling. Just, I'm going to mess up your event.
Pam, can I ask you a question about email marketing? And do you do much of that?
You can ask me a question about it. I'm not.
Okay, well, maybe this is the opinion of the room. How about that?
Okay.
So I've been seeing a lot. I mean, you've been seeing these a lot too, but I'm bringing this to the surface. A lot of these opportunistic styled, hey, just to let you know, we're an online business, and here's all the things that we're doing to, you know, to help with, you know, COVID-19. And it's like, dude, you're an online business. You're probably doing this from your house, and you're telling me about like the tactics that you're taking to do this stuff, and it's like, I don't know, it just seems so
GDPR all over again.
Yeah,
I'm sick of it.
What should people doing instead of that? Like, what should you do instead of that? That's what I want to know between the 3 of us. Like, what should you be doing to?
Well, first, don't do that. Just don't. Rather do nothing than that. Like, I saw our dealership was sending out an email saying, if you buy a car from us right now, we'll give you a free bottle of hand sanitizer and a roll of toilet paper. Somebody shared that in my Facebook group.
I just think it's ambulance chasing.
Yeah.
And we're being right now, you're going to get lost in the volume of the ambulance chasers.
And you're going to make yourself look like a jerk like that. Like you're trying to capitalize on this.
It's
like
too
that's
soon.
Disgusting. This is very upsetting economically and healthy life-wise, like detrimental to so many people. Like, you just look like a jerk. So I'm not a
it's almost like 9/11, right?
Yeah, like you just don't.
I would do what Pam's doing and individually email clients and say, which is what I've done. I've texted people. You know, it's easier on iMessage, Jason, you know, because we can do it on our computers. But I've been like, hey, I'm thinking about you. How are you doing? What's going on? I mean, you know,
I'm thinking about you. That's 4 words. 4 very powerful words. That's exactly what I started with my client. I was like, I'm thinking about you guys.
I don't know. I just don't need to know that a specific company here is saying, like, here's how you should not spread COVID-19 in X number of steps. Like that is just, I don't know, and I've seen these multiple times. Like FreshBooks sent me a thing telling me about it, and I'm like, FreshBooks, you send out invoices that aren't pieces of paper. Why are you telling me about this? Like,
leave it to the CDC. I mean, that's why I'm not posting, except for like the order last night where the governor told us we had to stay blah, blah, blah until the 19th. Except for that, I don't post any of that stuff on Facebook because people should be going to the cdc.gov or to their state's health place or to the World Health Organization. Okay, that's it. All this other stuff is a distraction.
Yeah, it's
and everybody's weird interpretations. And even though I took the exact text out of the order last night that said all businesses should, like we can't mingle with people outside of our household. Okay. Right. So, and it's punishable. That's what happened last night for California. And my sister-in-law lives in Oregon. Was like, wow. I'm like, yeah, but there's more people in Orange County, not California. There's more people in Orange County than the whole state of Oregon. California has the most people in it. Okay. So let's be serious. And even though I think it's bullshit in a lot of ways, and I think it's hysteria, it doesn't matter. That's what is happening.
Right.
It's what's happening. So we don't need to add to the fear. I mean, if you want to think of it as 1929 or 2009 or 2001, it doesn't matter. Right now, people are freaking out. They've lost their minds. Nobody is thinking with their minds, okay? Yeah. Logical. So Pam's original tip of we need to be empathetic is what really matters. So nobody needs a MailChimp campaign from the car dealership or even from my dentist. I wish they had just called me and said, yes, your appointment is still happening on Tuesday, or no, it's not. I don't need to know. I expect you as a medical office who performs surgeries to always use best practices when it comes to sanitation, because you got $47,000 from the people that loaned me that money.
Right. I did see one that was interesting, and I'm not so sure about this, but I'll throw it out there, is that there was a Mercedes dealership, and the Mercedes dealership said, if you still want to get maintenance done in your car, to contact us, and you go on our website and fill out the form, whatever. We will have a driver come over and pick up the Mercedes, put it on the flatbed, and take it out to go have it serviced and be brought back.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
That right there, I was like, okay.
I got one from my vet that said something similar, like if you need to bring your pet in, more than welcome to come, but let us know in advance and text us when you're in the parking lot, and we will arrange for someone to safely, social distance wise, transfer the animal in, and you will wait outside and we'll text you back when you're done. And that makes sense. And it shows that they're caring, but they're still there for you. They're caring about like doing this right and being safe. They care about your safety, but they're getting creative again. It's just
we don't need 20 emails a day.
Yeah, but exactly. Like it's not.
You're afraid. So, like for me, what I'm going to say is, no decision based on fear is ever a good one. This has been the sum of my life experience, and as the last 27 years, if you count it at 20, or 29 years of being an adult, this is what I've practiced and tried to learn. It's like, what can I change right now? Oh, nothing. Then don't do anything. Like, or what can I do? Oh, I can do this instead. Like there's no. Carlsbad Village Yoga decided that they were going to live stream Facebook Live the yoga session so people can do it at home. That's awesome. You don't need an email marketing campaign for that. Just do it and be a helpful human being, right?
Yeah. With them, right? Oh, what's in it for them? Before you send out an email, I think that's the number one clarifying question you should ask yourself. What am I putting in this that is of value and assistance to the recipient? Not to me, to them. What's in it for them?
Yeah. No,
that's timeless advice, Pam. That's not just right now good advice.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen gyms where they're actually putting up all of their different workouts that they want you to do, and putting them up there saying, hey, here's all the workout you should do, and putting them on Instagram or doing a video of it or whatever, and then telling everybody, hey, let us know how it's going, or film yourself doing it so we can use this as content to kind of make it happen. I've also seen them where they're doing runs where they're like, hey, go out and run, because they're still letting you go outside and do all the stuff, but go out and do a run. And either video it or show, what your route was and how your route was for that day and all that sort of thing. So I don't know. You're right. Just be smart about it. Try something a little bit different. You have time to experiment. Like, feel free to experiment a little bit, play around with it a little bit, and see what's going to work and what doesn't work. And like you may end up being like Pam, where you're going to be selling a bunch of security systems, not really realizing that that's what you were going to end up doing.
Well, yeah, roll with it. We survived that way. You have to roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, and you can't really be a prostitute now, even if that was your backup plan. That used to be my joke. Like, I guess I'll just be a prostitute. Like, because people would ask, what are you going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to decide right now, and I'm not going to let you put me in a state of panic. Yeah, my income's going to go down, but all I can do is what I'm doing, And
right.
Like I was telling you guys before, one of the things I started doing had nothing to do with this, was because I can't afford to go to WordCamps this year. I started giving away 1 free hour a month of marketing consultation. And because that way I can actually help one person instead of talking to a room of 12. And it'd be the equivalent of going to 12 WordCamps, actually helping one person privately, not recording it, not asking them for a review. But if they tweet something publicly, I put it on my website. I mean, I'm not totally stupid, but I'm not saying I'm doing this so that you review me on Yelp or whatever. Like, because the true thing is, if we actually help each other, we're all not just, we're in it together. But I mean, if we actually help each other, collaborate on these things, then we will get through it together. Mm-hmm. So that's my advice always.
Yep.
And so I gotta go to the tool tip of the week now. Like, I just didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to say, well, I guess I can't be a prostitute. And
I'm so sorry to hear that, Bridget.
Well, I mean, it's legal in Nevada. Money's money, but it's not going to be any lower than my marketing rate. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, people have lost their money.
That is something you should not discount the rate for.
No, don't. I don't think that, you know what I mean? I just feel like, stop freaking out about stuff. Stop, drop, and roll. Like, I just learned this in my therapy again. Like, what can we do? What can we actually do? And then just breathe a little bit. And that's why I loved your advice, Pam, about having these virtual meetups, because the magic that happens in person, that in the hallway track, in the mingling, is this culmination of your slow hunch and then having that eureka moment. This week's tool or tip of the week is brought to you by Fat Dog Creatives. If you're a service-based business serious about growth, Rhonda Nygaard is your rebranding and web design thinker, a strategic design specialist. Check out her website at fatdogcreatives.com. Hey, Rhonda, I love you. I think I'm going to reword that so it's not so-and-so sells seashores at the seashells. Like, I already have enough speech impediment from these new teeth. Okay, so here's my tool or tip of the week. So I was talking to one of my clients, and he was like, oh, can I pay you an hour? And I'm like, you're already one of my clients. What are you talking about? Just schedule a meeting. Silly goose. And so we were talking about how we both really miss karaoke. Like, that was my one social thing.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about this. Yes, please tell.
And so he goes, oh, yeah, but I've been doing it on Smule. And I go, Smule's still around? And he's like, yeah. I went crazy last night. So Smule is an app that you can download on your phone. And I think you can do it on the computer, too. And then you can sing duets with people or sing your own song. Of course, they have a monetized version where you're paying whatever a month, blah, blah, blah. Alone it's music, together it's magic. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
And so anyway, like, so you can sing with the artist on some of them. So I sang with Seal, Kissed by a Rose. And I tweeted it out, and A.B. Hall was like, I didn't know you do Seal. I'm like, I don't know Seal. But like, people like, and And then after I did that, I was just having so much fun. I started laughing. And then I come back to my computer and the governor's like saying you have to stay in your house until April 19th or whatever in your house. And then I went to my neighbors because like this is a fourplex. We're a household. And I go, hey, you guys okay? Because they're 70 and 74. And I knew they were just doing some errand. And I said, I'm really sorry I've been singing. They're like, we don't care. We love your voice. I'm like, I just found karaoke. And they said the same thing, Jason. We were wondering because they know I don't come out of, that was a good one. They know I don't really come out of my house that much, but I come out on Mondays for karaoke and Wednesdays for trivia night. And by the way, Geeks Who Drink is doing their trivia nights on Twitch now.
Oh, that's smart.
Twitch, so I don't care. But the karaoke is kind of fun because then the thing is, it's like, yes, we can all just start using Lifter LMS and building courses, but we still have to have some of our fun. So just because we're inside or quarantined or isolated doesn't mean we have to work more. Like I think right now we're in the danger of kind of like putting our work-life balance out of control. We still need downtime. We still need hobbies. We still need to decompress. So if singing's your thing, and karaoke isn't about sounding good, by the way, it's just about having fun. I totally screwed up on one of those parts with Seal. And I'm like, sorry, Seal, I totally messed that up. So it doesn't matter because it's just karaoke. Nobody cares. It's never going to see it. It's just a dumb thing to do. And I found myself laughing. I was laughing and hysterically just happy.
Mm-hmm.
So like find that thing that makes you happy is my general part of the tip, but Smule is really, it's a weird name, Smule. That's
yep. Smule's fun. Pam, what do you got?
As this sign says, relax, nothing is under control. But the relax is the important part. It kind of piggies back off of what you just said. But I want to be a very specific and loud advocate for mental health, and mental health really matters now more than ever. So it's and it looks different for different people. So basically, the general tip is take care of yourself. But more specifically, I want to say like you do whatever it is for you that works for you. So a lot of people have been saying lately, like, oh, I can't meditate. I'm not into all that foo-foo stuff or whatever. That's fine. It's that works for some people. It doesn't work for other people. For you, it may be going for a run. It may be playing Candy Crush to decompress. Like whatever it is, that is taking care of yourself, giving yourself some time to relax and escape a little bit. It's okay. It will all be there when you get back. You don't have to worry and obsess about it 24/7. It will be there. It's okay to compartmentalize, set it aside for a bit. Okay, worry and anxiety, I'm going to just put you over here for a minute. I will be back, but I'm going to give myself a little break. It might be taking an extra 60 seconds when you go to the bathroom to just close your eyes and breathe. 1 deep breath or 3, whatever. Like, just, again, get creative, but in this case, about your mental health. Because if you don't, like the oxygen mask analogy, you can't be there for others, whether it's your business and your clients, your family, your friends. If you full on lose it and have a breakdown, you're not going to be able to help them. And everyone's worried about everyone else now, too. Their clients, their friends, their employees. Mm-hmm. If you go off the rails, you're not going to be there for them. So if it's hard to think about caring about yourself, if you have trouble conceptualizing that and prioritizing yourself, think about the others that you're worried about and that you want to be there for, that you won't be there for if you don't put your oxygen mask on first and take care of yourself. So take time to relax because nothing's under control anymore.
So true. I hate to laugh, but I mean,
no, it's 100 laugh. It's good.
I feel like this almost like
time, but it's important.
I almost feel like before I hijack Jason is it's like after my husband died, and people were like, you should always be sad 24/7. Of course I'm sad. It's been 4 years. Of course I'm sad. I'm still sad. I was sad then, but it doesn't mean you can't laugh.
Right.
And some stand-up comedy and stupid movies are also another good.
Yeah,
that was very popular in the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever gets you out of that, worry and anxiety, voices screaming, like whatever gets that to shut up for a little bit for you, make sure you're prioritizing it, making time for it.
I feel so stupid to tell you guys the thing that I'm going to show.
Why?
Follow that, Jason.
It doesn't matter. We just said, do you, boo?
Oh my gosh. Okay, fine. All right. So, so I'm going to tell you.
I mean, it's fine if you started your home brewery. I know we're not
No, it's
allowed
worse
to go to
than
bars.
that. I'm going to show you a Unicode character keyboard.
Wait, what is that?
So what this is a character keyboard for your phone when you're needing to use like extended character keys, like using like the registered trademark sign or the copyright sign. And I think it's hilarious because you guys were so like deep down about like just sharing your feelings and all this. I'm like womp womp. So okay, that's cool.
Well, you're sharing your feelings about trademarks and copyright.
No, I'm not. But I'm showing you a really cool thing that I've been playing around with for a while. And what this thing is it's, if I remember correctly, it's free. But it's Fahrenheit. Yeah, and so what it does is it lets you select these. But the coolest part about this is that if you don't know what the name of the symbol is or whatever, you can draw it. So if you push this little thing up on the top here, you get a little drawing pad. And if I do a circle with a C in the middle of it, it will try to find those digits that's in here. So like it thinks that 3 right here might be that character. And it takes a little while for it to get used to like what your, how you draw it, but it'll actually help you, figure out what that character was that you're trying to look for. So for instance, if I was looking for like, let's say, I don't know, if I just did like the letter G or something, it'll go and find a character like that looks like it, and then try to,
math symbols. Actually,
math
that's really
symbols,
useful
all sorts of pretty things.
People are doing a lot of online education, schools and everything, colleges, universities.
Yeah, and if you know what the name of it is, but you don't know what it is, you can put in like percent, and it'll try to find that one that's a percent sign or something like that. And so it's handy, and I don't know, it seems like something cool to kind of take a look at. I was playing with it a couple days ago, and this thing's been around for a long time. And the guy went in and started adding additional features to it. And one of the features was the fact that you could draw it, which for some reason wasn't working very well for me just now. Well, but it kind of helps you be able to find those characters. But these are all characters that are like in the keyboard that you can use.
I mean, that's so cool because the thing is, I've been doing my Duolingo with German, and they have this weird like S-looking thing. I don't even know what it's called.
Right.
But then I was like, I don't want the German keyboard because I only really need that one weird S thing. And then if I have the German keyboard, then it starts auto-correcting my English, and I forget to turn it off. Like, sometimes those things are helpful.
Braille patterns, there's like all sorts of really neat things that are in here that are all keyboard-based. So if you're looking for something that's very unique or something that you want to use on social media, like something, like a number with a circle around it or something. There's a whole bunch of them. The eject symbol, if you needed the eject symbol, now you can paste that into Twitter or something and have that be used.
That's really cool. Can you give us a tip on how you did that little screen share of your phone there?
Yeah. So I use this software called Air Server.
Oh.
Okay.
And you load that up on your you load that up on your Mac, and then it will make it so that you can show it up on the screen. That's
awesome.
That is
awesome. I use this. You can actually use it to have multiple devices show up on the screen. So if you wanted to show what's on the iPhone and then show what's on an iPad, you could have both of them show up on the screen at the exact same time.
Well, I
That's
need
super
that. That way I can do my Twitter tutorials a little bit better.
Yeah, Air Server, it's awesome.
Cool.
I really like it
You
a
never
lot.
told us that. You
I
have
know, 'cause
so
then
we
I
got
can't-
two for the price of one.
I can't show Air Server while using Air Server.
You can talk about
that.
But yeah, Air Server is good stuff. It makes it so that it's
Super
super
cool.
easy to kind of get in there and do some stuff.
I
Yeah,
love it.
Bridget,
What a
go look
great
at that.
episode. Pam,
Yeah,
you want
that
to
was
tell
cool.
everybody where they can find you on the
Pam Aungst
internet?
Marketing anywhere. Twitter, I'm Pam Aungst Marketing, Facebook.com/Pam Aungst Marketing, Instagram Pam Aungst, just PamAungstMarketing.com, just wherever you can find Pam Aungst Marketing, I'm there.
Awesome. What about you, Bridget? Where can people find you?
You can find me at BridgetWillard.com, and everything on the social is completely different because, whatever. I didn't do it right the first time. So that's why I always tell people to get your usernames, because at first I was Gidgy, because that's my childhood nickname. But I use that for politics and religion. So You Too Can Be Guru was like my tongue in cheek, and that was going to be my business. But then BridgetWillard.com stopped being a porn site, and it wasn't mine. So don't relate the prostitution joke. And so I finally am BridgetWillard.com on Facebook, but just go to BridgetWillard.com and then you can find me wherever, or just type in Bridget Willard on Google and you'll find like 15 pages of me.
Just make sure it's Google, not another site.
I actually had a guy who said, I was thinking about you because he's taking computer science for his master's. He said that we were talking about PHP and it said WordPress. And I was thinking about you. And I didn't have your phone number anymore, but I remembered you had a website. So I went to your website and I found your phone number. And he texted me, and I thought that was so sweet.
Oh, that's cool.
That what he thought of
And a little
PHP,
creepy.
he thought about me. Well, I hope it wasn't because of the breaking changes. That's all I gotta say. I'd rather be P++ than PHP 5.2.
Right. Well, if you want to know where you can find me, you can go over to WPwatercooler.com. You can click on the links over there to subscribe to this stuff. I'm going to be doing another show at 11 o'clock today, so feel free to go take a look at that. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I would imagine it has something to do with our current climate in this whole thing and how it's all going to work as a developer. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. So feel free to go take a look at it. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.